start today in sunny skies, good sailing, and in a queue of narrowboats. It is a holiday weekend, and boy, can you tell. Well, just right back there was where I was moored last night. As you can see, very quiet. You may be wondering how it is a gentleman with his dog is not only keeping pace, but going faster than I am. Well, that is the speed of narrowboat cruising. You go at basically walking pace. You gotta remember, these were once pulled by horses, and they moved at the pace of the child that was drawing the horse along. It sure would be nice to have a mooring at the end of the garden. The easy access to the boat and the home, quite convenient. Somebody really likes their cartoons. And their puppets. We may not be going too fast right now, but we are still making pretty good time. We are about to get passed by somebody whose tickover was so fast that it was apparently too fast for me. Tickover being the slowest speed a boat can go without, just barely throttle and in gear. And tickover was basically the speed that we were going at the time, as dictated by the boats ahead of me. I do find I'm enjoying the scenery. So we're about to cross or go under a bridge, but this isn't necessarily a vehicle bridge. This is a farm bridge, or a person bridge, maybe an animal bridge. Because there's not necessarily a road there, but there is a field on either side, and farmers and animals got to get from one side of the canal to the other. I don't normally go for sunny days, but after yesterday's hours of drizzle, this is a welcome change. Definitely makes the boating a bit more pleasant and fun, I gotta say. Howdy. We are approaching here Bridge 80. The bridges are numbered, so you know where you are, and if you encounter any distress when you contact the authorities or whoever, you can tell them where you are, and they can come find you. The blue boat up ahead has come to a stop to make room for the oncoming boat to go through the bridge, because the bridges are generally just wide enough for one boat. So if you see another boat coming, it's a game of chicken to see who gets to go through first. is good to see so many boats out on the cut enjoying the canal. And while it is overcast, it is also nice that it's not raining, unlike yesterday. Definitely makes the cruising more pleasant. And of course, the advantage to the overcast weather means I have the comfort of a dry day without the sun beating down on me. I don't know what it is about these corridors of green where you've got trees or plant life on either side, but I enjoy them. I find it to be a peaceful part of the canal. So this is the finish of day 2 of my narrowboat adventure. I made it, I didn't make it as far as I had originally thought. I was apparently a bit ambitious, but I made it back to Braunston, where I picked up the boat. Just a short walk from the hire firm, and I got here around about noonish, maybe noon 30-ish, and that was about 3 hours of boating. Ran into some traffic, which unfortunately the time-lapse, well, the time-lapse shows some of it, but as we saw, the batteries on the GoPro died, so we only had probably an hour-ish of the cruise on the time-lapse. But now there was several, stopping for boats to come through bridges, boats to come through tight bends. One person related it to the M25. It was, just because it was that busy, and it was that busy. But still made it pretty far. I'm actually in a pretty good spot, pretty good position, I should say, because I'm just a short, right just around the corner are the locks, the Braunston locks that I need to get up in order to go through the Braunston tunnel. And it sounds like it's the kind of thing where once you start the locks, you're committed through the tunnel, and depending on how long it takes to go up the locks plus the tunnel, that could have been another few hours, and it might have been like 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon before I'd moor up again. And I'm not on this holiday to go bananas. I'm on this holiday to kind of, really to chill. Most of the time, as those of you who have been following my blog would know, when I go on holiday, it's not necessarily a holiday. It's all day many hours of the day trying to find interesting things to go see. And then I come back to, after that, I come back to typically the hotel, and I do my homework is what I call it. And that's where I, extract the pictures and the video. I get those assembled as needed, upload them to where they need to be. Then I write up the blog, inserting the pictures and videos. I think the quickest I got a blog done was like a really just basic, short like a half hour, and that was like on an arrival day. Typically, yeah, it can take me a good 2-3 hours to, finish a blog. So this here, because you can't go fast on the canal. I mean, speed limit is walking speed, and so this whole thing has been just kind of, let's just poodle along, see what I can see. Mostly just the experience, the driving the boat, the mooring it up single-handed. Fantastically, as I was going along, looks like a veteran boater who was moored up told me I was doing a good job handing the boat. So I was like, apparently I'm doing it right. When you consider the fact that, as we know, my boat has separate gear select and throttle, you don't just change gear, you gotta do a little bit extra thinking, because if you're going forward and you need to reverse, on the typical, you have a Morse control, they call it, and you go forward, and that go so you push forward on the stick, and engages drive, and then it throttles up, and then you can pull back, and it throttles down, engages reverse, and throttles up. It's all one stick, so it's easy to do. With what I got to really pay attention to where I'm going, to what I'm doing, because if I see anything up ahead that might be tricky, I gotta throttle down, let the engine spool down a bit, then take it out of gear, put it in reverse, throttle up, in order to, and then when I'm, slowed down enough, I got to throttle down, put it into forward gear, throttle up. A thing to remember when you're boating, no gear, no steer. You got to have the propeller turning and pushing water past the rudder, or pulling it past the rudder, which there's not a lot of steering in reverse. And when your boat, this is something I wasn't expecting. When your boat is so short, boy, does it turn. The whole turns on a dime. This sucker turns. When even, I'm going along, minding my own business, a boat comes past, suddenly, wink, it sucked, I get sucked over to the other side of the canal. It's like, give me a break here, So, but, it's part of the fun. Some good news, haven't run into anybody yet. Have it grounded out. Came close. I did hear a bit of canal bottom gliding past the hull at one spot where it was real tight, and a lot of maneuvering had to occur because of just the way the boating was happening. But didn't get stuck. There was one one spot where I had been so I'd been going along, and there's this boat had come up. It's like nearly, it was almost to the point where I could step off the back of my boat onto the bow of his. Not in any way malicious. It's just that his tickover, his slowest speed, was faster than I was going, and I was kind of gauging my speed against the boat in front, and so it was just like, and I hadn't been paying enough attention to what was going on behind me. Still second time, but I see him. They're like, whoa! And so the first opportunity, I pulled over, and he went past, and he explained, my tick over is it's too fast. So it's like, hey, no problem. So he went past, and I was following him for a while. Basically, what he had to do is go into gear and come out of gear over and over again in order to not keep running into the boats in front of him. And so I was following him for a while, and then I come around the corner, and I see suddenly he's in front of the boat that he had been following, but he's got the bow line of the boat like tied around the back of his boat, and then moments later I see him throw it to him like, somebody got stuck. So it was me. Especially it would have been challenging to pull me off, because I'm by myself. I got nobody in front, so I got to do this all by myself, which again is this is me learning how to solo boat, because ideally in a couple years time I'll have my own boat.
That's the dream. Right, yeah. And so I want to make sure I kind of know what I'm doing. Uh, so yeah, it was pretty good sailing. Some good views. The when I started, and this may change as the week goes on, but when I started and engine was thump thump thump, it's cool. It's fun having, an atypical engine in your motorboat, in your narrowboat. Typically, they're most of the time they're a little four-cylinder, diesel that hums. I got the one that goes thump 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 thump. Not quite as fancy as some of the boats, but still thump thump thump. But boy, do you hear it. And yeah, I kind of thought it would be like get on me for after a while, but so far it's actually soothing, which for those who know about me and ticking clocks, it's surprising. But on the other hand, I'm not trying to sleep, so that is, at least when I'm driving the boat, unlike when a clock is ticking and I'm trying to sleep and I can't sleep. But the 2.5, 3 hours that I was motoring along, I listened to just the the boat and nature, and it was just calming. And operating the boat is fun, especially when suddenly everybody's in front of you is pulling over, and you realize, oh, they're doing it because boats are coming the other direction, and it's a bit tight, and they don't want to go clanging off each other. And so now I got to pull over, which means I got to stop. And I don't want to get sucked into the canal when the boats go past, so I jumping off with the center line, holding onto the boat, and jumping back on. So got to do that a couple of times. So it was good. It was a good day of boating. Made it to Braunston, moored up, was getting ready for some lunch. Like I said, it had been a good 2-3 hours. I was like, that's enough. And then of course the several hours of locks and tunnel. So being where I am, it's a good location, because then in the morning I can head out, go up the locks, go through the tunnel, and that theoretically could be my my sailing for the day. But at least kind of get it done early. Maybe there'll be less traffic. Don't know. It is a holiday tomorrow, so likely going to be people taking advantage of it. Hopefully I am able to pair up with somebody going up the locks, because they're uphill locks, who has more crew, because when you're solo boating, handling locks are doable. It's just not fast. It's a bit, you got to go a bit more slowly, because you got to do everything. You got to take the boat into first you got to get off the boat, tie it up temporarily, open the equalize the water if you have to, open the gates, then you got to bring the boat in, then you got to close the door, the gates, raise or lower the lock, open the gates, move the boat out, close the gates, operate all the paddles and everything, which I want to do. But at the same time, if I can get a few locks with somebody going with me, who has more crew and doesn't mind doing all of the mechanism, so I can just take the boat in with them, and we can go through together, that would be fantastic. However, I am preparing myself to do it all myself, because I want it. But I think that's it. I did have part of the reason I stayed was, as I got off on here, and I was just I needed to get some food, and so I went looking. I ran into the Gungoozler's Rest, which is a cafe narrowboat. It's a narrowboat that's been refit to operate as a cafe. It's got some seating inside. Normally, this is not normal times, so it's no seating inside, but it's it's basically takeaway food. And I was like, I'm here, I'm in Braunston, let's take advantage of the amenities, let's go see the town a little bit. And so I did. I ordered a egg and bacon sandwich, which was fantastic. It did take a while to arrive because it's just, the one cook, and there was a lot of people that had ordered, so there was a wait, but it was worth it. I tell you, it was so good. Well, good ingredients, proper bacon, English style bacon, not that fat, skinny stuff that Americans have. I like the proper bacon, so I had that. Came back, had my shower because I hadn't showered yet. Had to wait for the water to get hot, surprisingly, the calorifier, or the hot water tank on here, is apparently well insulated, because it was a good 2 hours after I stopped before I took my shower, and the water was still well hot enough that I had to use cold to counteract the hot. So yeah, it was a good day. Not as long as I had thought, but still a good day. And again, I'm well positioned for tomorrow. So this is about 14 minutes of rambling. I will stop rambling and see you all tomorrow.